Alright, let's do this. How's everybody doing today? We got it done. The great Q naming has been done. Let's see. Yeah, got a lot of work to do. I think I'm going to announce on Discord and maybe Blue Sky as well about the knot trip happening. Just maybe. Maybe. We'll figure it all out. I'm gonna be right back. Two shakes of a lamb's tail. All right. Oh. It's getting kind of crazy, and I have to admit, I am very happy that I took Commute inside. Because I don't think she would have done so well in this 90-degree heat. Though there is a twisted part of my that basically wonders, like, what originally going to just make it a head, with the ears or the horns or whatever you want them to be. But it has to be horns because it was modeled after the devil emoji. And I needed a stand-in. When I created when I was on Twitch, because I was going to be a VTuber. So I kind of quickly created the body around the head. T-shirts, and actually my avatar was going to wear, would have the emoji on it. The emoji basically would set my mood. So literally the t-shirt would change depending on how I was feeling. Kind of like a mood t-shirt. Because I think, if you're new here, originally I was going to be a platypus. And one of the problems that we had with doing the platypus, it's Donald Duck's problem, and basically anything with a beak. The problem with drawing the beak and everything like that is conveying especially happiness. You contort the beak so much that the beak becomes more pliable than an actual beak. This way back when I was doing animation. You really don't want to have a very pliable beak. You want the beak to be kind of a standard. It doesn't really change. So to convey like happiness and everything like that, I was going to have the emoji on t-shirt basically doing the happiness, sadness, anger, confusion, and everything like that. Long story short, even though I actually did design the platypus, even though I actually went through the whole thing, I was learning Live? I think it's 2D Live. The program 2D Live. I was going through the whole thing. I'm still kind of, I would say that I'm still kind of amateur on it. I have not even opened it since then. Long story short, basically Christmas Eve, I got suspended on Twitch, and even though I continued to design the avatar, which was supposed to be released in January, instead of releasing it, I quit Twitch. That's a fact, Jack. search for it. And it was full-bodied. It was a full-body avatar the entire time. Though my quitting didn't last as long as permanent, it didn't last very long. Actually, it only lasted. I was only out for a couple months. But when I came back using the Gremlin model as my actual avatar model, and haven't gone back to doing I haven't gone back to doing the platypus and t-shirts and stuff like that. That's all long since done. Most VTubers, I'm trying to think if there's any that don't have this, but most VTubers have fan art. I always call it the lust. Because whenever they try to do the illustration, they have like their name, like mine would be Q Illust. And it would look like Q Lust. I always thought that was funny. That's a whole totally different thing. I can talk about that later. But I had already drawn the first fan art cue for a VTuber, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm really going to just do collabs. I'm not going to be. I am not going to be a full-fledged Twitch streamer, and I'm just going to do collabs. And instead of just having the standard model, which now you see all the time, which I have like, I think 60. I now have 60 different avatars that I could use for streaming. Instead of using that, what I was going to do is I was going to wear whoever I was streaming's outfit and kind of like be the gremlin version of them. And do it like that. That blew, I have to admit, once I started doing that, it spiraled completely 100% out of control. It was I really don't do collabs, even though that's what Twitch was supposed to be for me. Because I didn't want people to spend any money on me at all. I fucking hate the entire monetization on how Twitch does it. But yeah, so I was literally going to just use the model that basically wore their outfit. It's the reason why all the original cues, if I was doing a male model, they didn't have hair. They were all bald. And if I was mimicking a female model, that model would have hair. everybody's hair was, and I was giving them the hair, and I was like, again, spiraling completely out of control. Giving Q dreadlocks and things like that was actually kind of fun to do. I just kept creating. First iteration only had, I think, 4 or 5 circles. Maybe it was only 3 circles. It was whatever the standard, if you do a circle, whatever the standard is. Whatever that standard is. I don't know what it was. But it wasn't very many. And it quickly filled up, and I was like, oh, I gotta add another ring to it. I ended the first set at 388, and it was nine rings. Because of the way people are, and some people just, I guess they just, yeah. Hey, I understand. People don't get me. It's the fact of life. But I took the 9th ring, the final ring off, because I kept thinking I was going to actually go to 10 rings. But 8 rings actually fits out good. People can see what things are. You can make it out. With 9 rings, it's kind of like this, and I don't even know what it would have looked like if I got it up to 10 rings. But so that's the stages of it. It's the first one had 8 rings, the second one had 9 rings, and the third one was the new circles. And there was like all interim things, involved in it. Really, I think I would be on like the 5th iteration of the circles, maybe even the 6th. I lost track of it. The inner circles have pretty much always been the same. Some minor adjustments, but for the most part, it's all been the same. I think one of the major changes when I did the one that I just completed the names for is that I wanted to do a circle with everybody using my cues as their avatars on Twitter, and only 12 people did. That literally became my core. They're never going to change. forgot to count how many that is. I think it's like 300. It's over 300. It's not 388. I know I use that all the time, but 388 was with the 9 circles. I think it had 88. It had about 88 people in the last circle. So I even have joked that I could go with 7 circles, and people I've lost contact with, I could literally just get them out, and I'd still have room to add anybody who's coming in new. That's how much things have changed in 2 years. I looked at my timeline, and I think I finished the last circle last year around November. So that hasn't even existed for a year. But I definitely know that there was already like a whole mess of people that either had already quit or no longer streaming, or just I'm not in, we're not connected anymore. Is probably the safest way to say it. And like I've always said, there's definitely a part of me that just kind of like wishes that they'd stop in and say hi. Most of the people that are in that situation, they're not coming back. They're not. We are never going to have that again. I don't want to forget them. I mean, and they'll always be, it's not like I'm going to get rid of these circles. I'm going to save each circle that I create. I don't delete it. It's like a time capsule. But things are going to keep changing. Keep changing, things are going to keep moving on, and as much as I want things to as much as I want the connection, as much as I want it, and I think that I work very hard towards it. It's not a mandatory thing. Nobody has to. You have your life. You have the things things you're doing, and I totally understand it. Last night, I think, is one of the reasons why, like, I was, getting kind of nostalgic. Also, because I finished the circles finally. It's I took every year, not by every year, but every other year or something like that. Ever since I've been a streamer, YouTube sends out these surveys, and I kind of do the whole, like, doesn't apply, doesn't apply, doesn't apply, doesn't apply. I have no idea. I don't know. And I usually don't write up anything about how they can improve it. Real honest thing. Like, mostly kind of just do, I guess, continue what you're doing, because I have no idea. This time around, I just gave it to them both barrels. I answered every question. Very negative survey. I think I said I put in, like, they began the whole thing with, like, an overall, or how satisfied are you with your, how YouTube treats its content creators. And I think I was being extremely kind, and I said somewhat satisfied. And the very next fucking question that YouTube asked me is, I see that you are somewhat satisfied. Do you mind elaborating? Optional. And so I went into the whole freaking thing, like, going, yeah, you act like there's support, but there really isn't. You act like you're here to help me. It doesn't do this. Your videos do not help me make informed, unique videos. You don't help at all. It doesn't do anything. And I said the only reason I say somewhat satisfied is because I'm not making any money doing this. And so it's kind of like you stay in your lane, I stay in my lane. We're going to have clashes. And then they went into the whole thing about policies and stuff like that. And I go, your policies are shit and unclear. And, what works for one thing does not work for another thing. And there's a reason why I don't make music videos anymore. There's a reason why I don't push this. When I was singing the covers, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I got a warning for singing copyrighted music, singing songs to copyrighted music, and the way they originally acted like is that I was stealing directly. The voice, the likeness, and everything like that, and I was not giving credit where credit was due. Now, this was a live broadcast, but I gave, to my complete and fucking only knowledge, all the credit to everybody, where the music's coming from, where I'm doing it to. I believe it was Columbia Records that owns all the Doors music. And I was going to sing the entire Doors catalog. Every album. Except for Best Of, because all those songs were in other albums. But every song that the Doors have sung on albums. And I was going through that, and I was doing really well. I lasted 2.5 hours before they literally turned it off. And of course, I didn't save it. I didn't have it saving on another thing. I didn't have it on delay. I was singing it raw and live. Freaking just absolutely, you sing for 2.5 hours, you're freaking hoarse as fuck. Even after they quote unquote resolved it, it's still not resolved, even though they actually sided in my favor, because I wasn't trying to steal fucking anything. They needed to be fucking clear about that. I will never do that again. And if I did it, I'm going to do it on Twitch, where even though they fucking just changed their freaking liability thing and putting all the liability on me, to where I could get sued, not just demonetized. Fucking drives me crazy. But yeah, so I wrote all that fucking shit up. I told them, like, you guys, your algorithm has no idea what to do with me. None. And then they got into, like, being monetized. And I did say I'm not fucking monetized. I don't know. I don't know what it means to be monetized. I don't know what the contract is. I don't know. I don't know how people work it. I don't know fucking jack or shit about it. But what I do know is the minimum to be monetized. And that doesn't necessarily mean I make any fucking money. That just means I'm monetized. And the minimum, right? I think they were trying to change it to 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours. But originally, it was 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours. So, even though I actually hit 200 subscribers. Even though I have 200 subscribers, if it was 500 and I get the 300 subscribers, I still have to get 3,000 viewing hours. That means that my viewers have to, my viewing hours, the time people actually watch my videos, has to go up 100 times which would put me at 2,000 subscribers. And that's for the base. That's for the bare minimum of being monetized. And I think somebody said that like for every 1,000, somebody actually said, like I said, I don't know jack shit, so I don't know anything about it. I don't know how much money is to be made. I don't know if it's a cent, you know, whether if you get 4,000 viewing hours, you get $4,000, which I don't think it is, or $40, because I think it's like a penny for every viewing hour. And I don't know if anybody, I don't know if there's like a non-disclosure. Like I don't know if like, once I get it, I can actually convey my earnings to how much, you know. I know that some people make millions of dollars here on YouTube, and I think it's less than 1%. I think the average thing that they were saying is somebody makes $3,000 a year. Which is and one I like it almost makes me laughable. Like, is this your only source of income? It's one of the fucking shits. No. I think there is sponsorships. I think there is things that, you know, people can get once they become monetized. I think that, you know, there's other money to be made once you're monetized. Hawking some product that doesn't matter, which I don't know if I would do. I don't know if that was in the cards. I know for a fact that in my first year, if I became monetized, it would have been about the money. It would have been about how to make more money, how to keep the money that I'm making consistent, how to do. I would have done all of that shit. Now, after nearly 5 years of not being monetized, I've gotten to the point where I don't work towards that. I don't follow the advice of like, you know, these are the videos you should be making. This is how you should, you know, this is how to work the algorithm, you know, which, just so you know, was AI before AI. YouTube's been using AI since its in conception, and people don't even realize it. This is the AI everybody's touting and freaking making out to be so great. And all I've ever heard from anybody who's been monetized, and this is absolutely true, I don't know of a person yet who's monetized who does not talk about how the algorithm fucks them. Yeah, if like by some happenstance it is 500 and it is 3,000 viewing hours, and some happenstance happens in the next few months and stuff like that, that I get that, I'm not even going to look at it as income. There's a reason why I know a lot of videos, inside the video, they run ads because of ad blockers. And I know that, like, I'll use Howard Stern as the best example of that. Howard Stern used to have his show, and I guess because people were DVRing it and skipping through the commercials, he would, in the middle of his show, like, do like printer freaking ads and other ads and stuff like that. You know, he'd have, you know, the people that work for him, you know, shout out product names and things like that. So, I mean, it's definitely there, and obviously if it's a product that I use, I would give it a shout out. But I don't know if I don't know if, you know, I would give them the free advertising if it's a product I use. So, like, I drink Coca-Cola. I probably would not accept like a PepsiCo ad. I don't know. Maybe I would be a... What is this? Don't mind the plastic bag. When I bought the oil. Yeah. I don't know. It's been there the entire video, and here I am doing that. The truth is that the crazy people, and that's I'm counting you as that person. The crazy people that will watch my videos all the way through, because you're crazy, you're insane. You're insane to watch me all the way through. Right now you have no ads. It's awesome, and if I could keep it that way, I probably would. But if you're crazy enough to watch my videos, why would I change it? Why would I try to fit into some, you know, cookie cutter type thing? Why would this be the same fucking video that you see in every type, you know, everything? It's when I see, like, most of them are not even on the air anymore, and if they are, it's not even the person who started it. But when I used to watch YouTube videos, I noticed something very similar, and they did everything the exact same way as everybody else, and it's awful. It really is. I don't like it. I don't like YouTube videos for that. You know, you have movie watchers who basically are, you know, they're watching old movies, and it's like, this is my first time watching this movie from friggin' 1988. It's like, dude, you should have watched that movie. You know, I don't care what your freaking, you know, people in your audience is saying. I can't believe you haven't watched this movie. You count yourself as a freaking movie watcher, and you haven't seen this movie? It's like, you haven't seen Star Wars? What? You're a sci-fi nerd and you haven't seen fucking Star Wars? A New Hope? Empire Strikes Back? What? If I ever reviewed a movie, it's going to be a movie that I've seen like a dozen times. In fact, every movie watch that I've ever done, I have to admit, I've already watched it at least twice. Probably 50 times. I've seen New Hope probably 50 times. I've seen Empire Strikes Back probably 100 times. You can tell which one's my favorite. But I don't have to do a watch thing of that. I can just do a review of those things like off the cuff. And if somebody wants me to review a movie, if somebody wants me to talk about nerd things, I can talk about nerd things all day long. I'm not going to walk into 40K and be like going, wow, this is my first time ever playing orcs. Oh, you've only been playing orcs for 35 years. This is your first time you're gonna. I'm touting that I freaking, do I know anything about orcs? Yeah, I think I know one or two things. And you know that like if I ever was to do 40K thing, and I have 40K stuff on here, but you'll never see me play Space Marines. I mean, I know never say never, but you never would see me play Space Marines. It's something I just don't care about. And that includes all the others. Even Necrons, even freaking Tyranids, even Eldar, even all of it. Why the fuck? I have no interest in those things. In fact, the only interest I have into them is kit bashing them and converting them into orc stuff. I'd rather rail about how they turned my beloved orcs into fluff. The things that make the orcs, in my opinion, great. The ability to be creative, the ability to, kit bash shit. You buy a freaking tank, a Lehman Russ tank, and you convert it into a freaking, orc battle wagon. And that's awesome shit to me. But yeah, what the content of the video, I can't tell you. We've been around, this has been around since I've definitely been on Twitter longer, even though I've been on YouTube even longer than that. But this channel was around 7 years when I started, 5 years ago, so it's 13 years. So is it 2008? No, 2012. 2011, 2012, somewhere when I created this channel. I've been watching a lot of freaking YouTube videos in that time. And I've definitely watched the evolution. Things definitely change, but like it's all the same shit. And here I am, like, and I basically poured it all on with the survey. And I don't know, maybe it's because I was like going, let's end these surveys once and for all. Let's just end it. And I don't know. Let's just end this. And just give it to them both barrels, because they're never going to give me feedback. They're never going to say, like, listen, we got your survey and we realized, like, this stuff, hell, I still have the warning from the freaking Doors video, and I still to this day do not know why they shut me off. I still to this day do not know why I have a warning on YouTube. I don't know. When they determined that it was actually my voice singing these songs, they were like going, "Oh, our bad." And I was like, "Well, what'd you do with the fucking video?" We deleted it. Make another. Oh, you want me to now make another fucking video of this, and you freaking flagged me first time around? You think that's gonna happen? No. Do you know why? Do you know why I have over 200 parody videos, 200 parody songs to create for Loud Noises, and I haven't created them? You know why that is? It's because of my warning. Because I don't know. I don't have a clear understanding of using copyrighted music. They even told me, like, well, you can just play it safe and not use any music, not do what you were doing. Remember, I didn't start out as a streamer, as an artist. I didn't start out drawing things. I started out as making videos and making music parody videos. That's what I was going to be as a streamer. I wasn't going to be an artist. In fact, I had no plans, zero plans of ever drawing again. It is why I did not start out as a VTuber. Not because I didn't know what VTubers were or this magical freaking thing. I've already seen VTubers. I adored VTubers. I really thought that this is this. And when I said, how do I become a VTuber? They're like going, yeah, it's going to cost you $10,000 to get yourself a model. It's going to cost you this much money to do this stuff. You're going to have V studios. You're going to have all these things set up. You're going to have to work this, coordinate with this. You're going to have to do the video casting from your phone while having a computer, while having another screen so you can monitor the whole thing. I was just like, what the fuck? When all I can do is hit go live and start recording. And I am disappointed that I'm not going to Florida, and I'm a little upset, and I'm kind of envious of people that can do that. But I remember there was a time when you go on vacation and spend $100, and that was like a fucking lot of money spent. And I have to admit, I haven't been in the vacation. Doing for over a decade, and and my current job all my current vacations have been staycations. I was back in a time when you got into Comic-Con for freaking $20. And that was the pass that got you to everything. $20. Now you have to get a pass just to get onto the vendor floor so you could spend money. What the fuck? Hotel room was $20 a night. Now you'd be lucky if you get it under 200. I can't afford that. I can't afford to be doing that. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that I'm not going to Florida, and I really want to. And one of these years, Piggy said to do it for one of my anniversaries, and probably after I fucking retire. I don't know if I'm going to be able to even retire. I think there's like definitely where the surveys are concerned, there's definitely a fascination with it, and my biggest fascination with doing the survey for here on YouTube, like I said, I've done a lot of them. And I really don't put much effort into them until this last one. But I always wondered, and this includes the first time I've done them all the way up until now, I always wondered what other people put. And whether it's like they go after the consensus as opposed to going after the people who actually put legitimate complaints in. And my original conclusion was that they don't, it's only there to basically pat themselves on the back. Look at what a great job we're doing for our creators. Yeah, you're kind of like left your creators in the fucking dust, and left them to fend for themselves. And only when it becomes a problem for YouTube do you even fucking remotely care. And I'd say you were different, and that there's other places to go that are better, but YouTube is probably the best. I mean, YouTube is what I used when I was mad at Twitch. So there's not better. This is it. YouTube makes the money, and then we'll hold on to it even though you've earned it for over a month. They'll pay you when they pay you. I think it is a monthly. I think you get paid per month. And I think it's, don't quote me, and I think it's a month behind. If somebody actually does know, if somebody is monetized on YouTube, please tell me. Please tell me how it works for you. I'll try my best to watch any one of your videos. Get you some moolah. Because getting the viewing hours, god damn. God damn. Like I said, 100 times. I have to increase my intake 100 times just to hit the baseline. So, taking me over 4 years to get here. It's going to take 400 years. This is my entire effort. This is the entire effort of me trying to make money. I have to increase it. I know that they used to basically hold on to everything for years. And another thing with the change, if it does change to the 500, 3,000, what that's going to do is that's going to take off. It's only going to be for the year. It's going to be the culmination of the year thing. So let's say I'm doing 40 hours, which I don't usually average, but let's just say I'm doing 40 hours a month. And in a year's time, so that's 480 hours. Right? Did I have that right? I think it's 480 hours a year. So I'd have to literally go for almost 10 years. In order to meet it. And yeah. I don't think that's happening. Not in my freaking lifetime. Alright. As always, cool beans in the comments below. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic time doing it. And if you're monetized, I hope you're making lots and lots and lots of money. Sticking it to the man. I hope you're doing really well. I really do. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. We were going to definitely try to do this again tomorrow. I don't know what insanity I'm going to come up with. But this has been a long video. It's actually awesome. And I will talk to you on the flip side. Alright, take care.